And this is where this entire SMB revolution, where you're trying to really get collaborative work going between vendors, users, and everybody else. How do you really use technology to motivate everybody, to actually reward everybody for the work they do?
What we may have done, and there are 107 unicorns out there, that's just a indication of what the country could do in a short period of 11 years. What we would do over the next 10, 15 years, I think the world is yet to even visualize and imagine.
Explore the transformative power of Web 3.0 in India, where technology fuels collaboration, rewards participation, and drives business growth. Learn how small and medium businesses can leverage blockchain, tokens, and decentralized ecosystems to thrive in this digital era.
What we may have done, and there are 107 unicorns out there, that's just a indication of what the country could do in a short period of 11 years. What we could do in a short period of 11 years is amazing. What we would do over the next 10, 15 years, I think the world is yet to even visualize and imagine. I think it is for us to lose what we can do over the next 10 to 15 years, not for anybody else. And I think we should all be very fortunate and thank ourselves to be actually here today in this world where the change can be brought about by us. If you think about the biggest golden era of United States, for example, it is not today. It was the 50s, the 40s and the 50s and the 60s where they created things. That led them, and not just one person created, two people created. It was a tsunami of creation. So if you truly ask me, I actually think about the world where the revolution that digital will give us is an ability to create in this new world altogether. The world of creation. Creation is the biggest value creation that one can do.
Just to give you an example that earlier companies were working on, that if I am a bank, how can I solve the customer problem when the customer is approaching me? Whereas the trend is changing. Now the bank is thinking that how can I remove the purpose for which the customer is calling me? Meaning that how can I resolve the problem by giving the solution in the hand of the customer? Meaning with the help of an app, I can empower customers so that for anything for which customer has to call me, they should be able to solve that problem on their mobile. So that's another example that for digitization, what companies are doing. Web 3.0 or Industry 4.0, I'm sure that you are aware of that Web 3.0 is talking about blockchain, meaning that earlier we were planning that how can we centralize. Now we are thinking and we are driving as a business that how can we decentralize. And blockchain is one example as a technology which is pushing all the companies that how can you decentralize. How can you decentralize your database? How can you decentralize any action or any approval which is required? So there is no need of centralization.
And what is really Web3? Web3 is where you start to own everything yourself. If you remember when WhatsApp came in and all of us send messages to each other through text messages saying, hey, I'm on WhatsApp, connect with me on WhatsApp. The US Foreign Secretary just spoke about recently the Finance Secretary when she came into India, is that India is the largest market for WhatsApp, right? Indians actually created this whole phenomena of WhatsApp by sending messages to each other and almost moving into WhatsApp from text messaging, right? That entire ecosystem of over 500 million users that got built in India and that got billions of valuation into Facebook and Meta, and it's our data. So how did Indians get rewarded for that? And that is the difference between Web 2 and Web 3. So the entire Web 3 ecosystem today is starting to reward you for participative ownership, for doing work on the platform. And this is where this entire SMB revolution, where you're trying to really get collaborative work going between vendors, users, and everybody else. How do you really use technology to motivate everybody, to actually reward everybody for the work they do? In our good old days, if you want to reward somebody, you would give them salary. Then we moved to giving them some performance incentive, right? We then came to ESOPs and equity. A lot of that wealth sharing happened through ESOPs and equity. Now in the Web3 world, it happens through non-fungible tokens as well as fungible tokens, right? So if you do think that somebody's done an incredible job for you, you can give them a digital asset in a form of a non-fungible token, which has a certain amount of inherent value. And non-fungible tokens have different kind of tokens, so they have either embedded value of a crypto cash or a crypto token within that, which could be even converted into fiat or could be traded around, or they're just precious art that could be used and that grows in value over a period of time. Or if you finally go down to a crypto coin or a crypto token, which could be listed and which has inherent value for the work you've done for the platform. They're looking for collaboration. They're looking for effective use of capital. They're looking for customer acquisition at a cheap cost. They're looking for making sure that their word gets out and people help them take that word out. All of this needs to be rewarded, right? Now they can do this two ways. One is they can use capital to be able to do customer acquisition, whether B2B or B2C. They can use expensive resources to do that, or they can decide that I'm going to do this using tokens and I'm going to reward people to do this. So I would urge every single small and medium business to be able to see what are their core things they want to do. And Mr. Navar spoke about core and non-core. What are really the core things they want to do, and how can they bring in participation from the ecosystem and then reward that ecosystem through different means of, fungible and non-fungible tokens, so that people feel that they're part of the ecosystem, they're being rewarded for it, and they collaborate with you to be able to grow your business.